So in this video, I'm finally going to put some shape into this website. This is our real world website that really could be released at the end. And at the moment, it still looks pretty terrible, but hopefully by the end of this video, it will start looking just a little bit better with a little bit of shape. So let's get started. I'm going to work my way down. I'm going to create I'm going to create a white background, a faded white background for the wrapper, so that we've got sort of a text area on our page. Then I'm going to set the header size. I'm going to leave a layout for the menu. I'm going to make sure the sidebar and the content sort of has got a bit of colouring, and the footer has got a bit of colouring and outline. So let's have a go at that now. Let's go for the wrapper first. So if we go to our wrapper here, it's already got some sort of wrapping settings here, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to first set a background colour for the wrapper, and I'm going to use a technique that I've sometimes used in the past. It's using an RGBA colour code, which you might need to go and watch another video on what that is. But the RGBA allows us to set a white colour, 255, 255, and then the final figure in this chain allows us to set a transparency code. So if we were to set that to 0.7, say, and finish that rule and refresh this, then we will see our wrapper here as having a bit of white on it. And what we'll do is we'll add a little bit of padding so we'll add 0 padding top bottom, and then maybe just 1 EM on either side. Let's just save that, and then that sort of offsets it a little bit. And then I'm just going to have a quick look at this, because you see there's a little bit of dark blue at the top here. I don't know whether I like that at the moment. Let's just have a look here. Our wrapper, it's the body that's giving us a bit of margin there. That's setting it in. So let's just see if we can see that margin on here. I think it seems to be a standard margin in the browser. So let's just change that to just having 0 margin in the body for the moment. Let's just see if that sets it up. So that's buttered up against the top now. We might want to bring it back later, but at the moment it's buttered against the top. Now, let's set the header shape. What I like to do for the header is I like to actually define a width and a height. So the width is going to be set to 100%, and the height, I'm actually going to do a pixeled height. I'm going to do 300 pixels. Well, let's take it down to 200 pixels to start with. I'm going to then set the menu as well underneath it, which is going to be I'm probably going to set a background of kind of a dark blue on it, and I go and use my color picker to find a dark blue. I'm going to search for in Google, look at the images, and I'm going to pick a blue off this, maybe off this rose here, a nice deep blue there, and I'm going to get that blue, and I'm going to put this hex code into my code here. So the background for the menu. So you might notice I'm doing a lot of mainly CSS styling on this sheet at the moment. The menu I'm going to set to a height of perhaps 50 pixels, and then I'm going to do some padding of kind of 1 EM around that. And let's just see what we're looking at like now. Let's just have a quick look at our template page. So this is kind of getting a bit of shape now. It's quite a dark blue really, but we'll see now. Now you might notice how this white is nice. It's got kind of a transparency. It's sort of fading in over the top of this, and it gives us a defined text area, which I quite like. Now let's see now that the wrapper is working and this is working. Let's just maybe set the color for the footer to the same. And you know what? I'm going to actually extract the colouring for the menu and the footer together. I'm going to put both of them into the same instruction. So I'm going to just copy this hash symbol, put it up here. So I've got the menu, and I've also got the footer, and I've got rules for both with this little comma here. And then I'm going to take this background and cut it out of there and put it instead in here, and then I'm going to do that. So what I've said is, instead of defining just the menu, I'm actually defining the menu and the footer background together, which means I can change both of them a lot quicker later on if I want both of them to be the same colour. So let's just say that. So we've got the footer and the menu there. Is that working correctly? Yeah, it seems to be. Menu and the footer. So if we set the main to being transparent background, let's see how that works out. Hang on a second. So you know what I think I might need at this situation is that I'm seeing here that the main content area is blue as well, and what it is I think it's a problem with the ID, and that's because an ID can only really be defined once, and I'm defining it twice here. So what I'm going to do is, instead, I'm going to create a class called the dark class, and then I'm going to save that, and for on my template file for both the menu area and for the footer, I'm going to have the class of dark, and let's just see that. There. So if I redefine that, should start popping up properly. So I just had to pause the video there and figure out what the hell was going on with this template here, because this sidebar in the content, basically my main section, was showing up blue, even though I'd redefined using a class and tried some different things. And I realized that there's actually a little technique that's often used that I'd completely forgotten about in this instance, that is to have a div to clear, and this is to do with the inline flow of elements in CSS. But it's a little technique, and I'll just write it out for you and show you, and then you can figure it out as you're working. It's essentially to create a div with a style, an inline style element that has the function clear both, and what this does, I'll close that div off. What that does is it basically sits at the bottom of this main content. The sidebar is sitting on the left, the content is sitting on the right, and at the bottom of both of those you have this div that kind of blocks off the end of that and makes sure that that the element extends to cover. And the reason is I'll show you on the page here. If we refresh now, it's working. But if I show you essentially that this sidebar is on the left, this content is on the right, and it's using a float. So the sidebar is floating left, and the content is floating to the left of that again. And when you're floating, it takes it out of the normal flow of the document, and the whatever's underneath it will ride up over it, unless you have this clearing div. It's a common technique to have this little div written exactly like this, and you'll see it often in HTML. So I've had to put that in. It's kind of distracted me for a little while to figure out that little bug, and this is the sort of thing that does go on when you're doing real world template design. So what I'm probably going to do is, now I've got the basic outline, you can see that I've got a header area, or I've got a menu area, I've got a sidebar here, a content here, a footer. I'm probably going to spend the next few minutes just sort of styling this a little bit better. You can do this sort of thing yourself, and it's so long and tedious. I don't want to show it all on video. But when we come back for the next one, hopefully it will look a little bit more expanded with a little bit more CSS, just some colors and shapes and so on, and we can move on to inserting the menu.